Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Momna Technology Wali. I'm 17 years old from Punjab Jalam and a co-facilitator at Rehan School Online Academy. Welcome back to my channel, and today I will take an interview of Maya on the topic how to practice self-compassion and forgive yourself. So let's start it.
Hiya,
Hi Maya, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How have you been?
I am also nice. Okay, so today I will take your interview. Are you ready?
I'm always ready for an interview. Got my thinking cap on. What's the topic for today?
Okay, so our today's topic is how to practice self compassion and forgive yourself.
Um, to, that is a beautiful topic. It's something so many of us struggle with, but it makes such a massive difference in how we move through the world. I'm all yours. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so my first question is
I'm ready when.
yeah. Okay, so my first question is what is self compassion?
To me, self compassion is basically treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you'd give to a best friend. Instead of being your own harshest critic when things go wrong, it's about acknowledging that you're human, you're imperfect, and that's actually okay. It's the difference between saying, I can't believe I messed up, and this is a tough moment, but I'm doing my best.
Okay, that's great. Why is self compassion important?
It's important because it's the foundation for actually getting back up when you fall. When you're constantly beating yourself up, you're operating from a place of fear and shame, which just freezes you in place. Self compassion switches that off and lets you look at your mistakes with curiosity instead of judgment. It basically turns a failure into a lesson rather than a definition of who you are. Plus, it's way easier to be truly kind to others when you've stopped being so mean to yourself.
Okay, that's great. What does it mean to forgive yourself?
Forgiving yourself is basically the act of letting go of the guilt or shame you're carrying for something you did or didn't do in the past. It's not about pretending what happened didn't matter or just brushing it under the rug. It's more about accepting that you made a mistake, acknowledging the pain it caused, and then deciding that you've suffered enough. It's giving yourself permission to stop being the prisoner of your own past.
Okay, that's nice. Why do people find it's difficult to forgive themselves?
Mm, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that we're the only people who see the full, unedited version of our own mistakes. We don't just see the action, we see the intent, the thought process, and the gap between who we wanted to be and who we were in that moment. That makes the guilt feel much more personal. Plus, there's often this mistaken belief that if we stop feeling bad, it means we're condoning what happened or that we're not taking it seriously. People use shame as a way to ensure they never do it again, but they don't realize that shame actually makes it harder to grow.
Okay, that's great. How can self compassion improve mental health?
It's a total game changer for your mental health because it lowers the volume on that internal critic that's always shouting. When you're self compassionate, you reduce your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase things like oxytocin, which makes you feel safe and secure. It prevents a mistake from spiraling into a full blown crisis of identity. Instead of falling into a hole of depression or anxiety because you weren't perfect, you create this safety net for yourself that makes you more resilient. It's like giving your mind a place to breathe and recover instead of just staying in fight or flight mode.
Okay, that's great.
I'm
How
ready for the
can
next one.
yeah, how can forgiving yourself reduce stress?
It's mostly about releasing that heavy emotional weight you've been carrying around. When you can't forgive yourself, your brain stays in a state of chronic stress because you're essentially in a constant conflict with your own history. It's like having a browser tab open in the back of your mind that's just draining your battery 24/7. Once you let it go, that mental energy finally comes back to you and your nervous system can actually settle down.
Okay, that's great. Now tell me, why is it important to accept mistakes?
Because mistakes are basically the raw material for growth. If we only ever did things perfectly, we'd never actually learn anything new or push our boundaries. Accepting mistakes takes the fear out of trying, which is the only way to actually get better at something. Turns a failure into just another piece of data telling you how to adjust your approach next time.
Okay, that's great.
Okay,
N-
still with me?
Now tell me,
I'm ready for the next.
how can people learn from their failures?
The trick is to move from why did I do this to what happened here. When you ask why, you usually end up blaming yourself, which just shuts down the learning part of your brain. But when you treat a failure like a scientist treating an experiment, you can actually look at the steps you took and spot the exact moment things went sideways. It's about analyzing the process, not the person. Once you detach your worth from the outcome, you can find the lesson hidden in the mess.
Okay, that's great. Why
Okay, I'm on a.
why is the difference between self-compassion and self-pity?
It's a huge distinction, and people mix them up all the time. Self pity is like sinking into the problem. It's that, why is this happening to me feeling, where you feel isolated in your suffering and tends to make you feel smaller and more powerless. It's more of a loop that keeps you stuck. Self compassion, on the other hand, is about lifting yourself out of the problem. It recognizes that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. Instead of, why me? It's, this is hard, and it's okay to feel this way. One is a hole you fall into, and the other is the ladder you use to get out.
Okay, that's great. How can positive self-talk improve self-compassion?
It basically rewires the conversation you're having with yourself. Most of us have this default setting where our inner monologue is a bit of a jerk. Positive self talk isn't about lying to yourself or pretending everything is perfect. It's about intentionally shifting the narrative to be more supportive. When you consciously replace, I'm so stupid for doing that, with, I made a mistake, but I can fix it, you're training your brain to associate your errors with solution seeking rather than shame. Over time, that shift makes self compassion feel less like a forced effort and more like your natural way of thinking.
Okay, that's nice. Why is it important to stop blaming yourself for past mistakes?
Because you can't drive a car forward if you're staring exclusively at the rearview mirror. Blaming yourself for the past is like trying to fix a broken vase by shouting at the pieces on the floor. It doesn't actually put the vase back together, it just leaves you exhausted and upset. When you stay in that blame cycle, you're essentially punishing a version of yourself that no longer exists because you've already learned the lesson that the mistake taught you. Letting go of the blame is the only way to clear the space to actually make better choices today.
Okay, that's nice. How can mindfulness help you forgive yourself?
Mindfulness is like a pause button for that spiral of guilt. When you're mindful, you can notice a self critical thought popping up, like, I can't believe I did that. And instead of just diving headfirst into the shame, you just observe it. You're basically saying, oh, look, there's that thought again, which creates this little bit of distance between you and the emotion. Once you're not drowning in the feeling, you can actually apply a bit of that self compassion we talked about and realize that The thought is just a thought, not a fact. Stops the past from feeling like it's happening all over again in the present.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you so much, Maya, and everyone for watching this video. We met as soon as possible with the new video or any other task. So take care and Allah Hafiz.
You're so welcome. It was a pleasure being part of your video today. I'll be right here whenever you're ready for the next one. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.